Hi, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of the UnTrivial Podcast. My name is Allie Nelson, and I'm your host. I'm so excited and I'm so nervous to record this, but I figured I would just do a quick intro episode to share what this podcast is all about, why I decided to start it, and what you can expect. So, the UnTrivial Podcast is basically aimed at having meaningful conversations with experts, authors, and influencers across a wide variety of topics. Conversations on this podcast will typically fall into one of three categories. The first is all things psychology and relationships. So, the mind, our brain, why we do what we do, why we think what we think, but also our partnerships and our relationships in life. So, romantic, siblings, parenting, our parents, you name it. The second category is wellness and self development. So, how we become the best version of ourselves, but also health, fitness, movement, eating, sleep. And the third category is society and culture. So some of those broader trends and conversations that are happening in that more macro environment. So things like masculinity and femininity, sobriety and being sober curious, conversations around people who want to be child free. So, all different types of things that are kind of topics of conversation on the grander scale. Each episode contains two parts. So there is the long form interview style conversation I have with my guest. And then the very end, I always wrap up with what I call a solo moment, which is where I kind of unpack a few learnings from the episode and the conversation, any words of advice, or just any other thoughts I have on the topic before we wrap up. I am not an influencer. I'm not famous. I just love engaging conversations and created this as a passion project. I feel like any people who are initially listening to this know who I am. I am Allie Nelson. I am from Toronto. I'm 31 and I don't do this full time. My career professionally is in HR. And so I have a good deal of experience interviewing people, but never about the topics that we're talking about here. So this will be really fresh and exciting for me. I love listening to podcasts. Oh my God, it's probably the thing I do the most and really enjoy learning from hosts and their guests. I definitely have a few favorites that I can recommend, but if you are the type of person who loves listening to those interview style conversations with guests who share their expertise on all things kind of wellness or society, then this hopefully will be up your alley too. A couple of disclaimers before we get into any of the episodes. Number one, I am not a doctor. I do have some medical professionals coming on the show, but please, please, please speak to your own doctors or healthcare providers before implementing any health or wellness practices. Broad disclaimer there. Look after yourselves. This is not medical advice. Second, the guests that I choose to have on this show have a wide range of opinions and beliefs. That doesn't necessarily mean I share all of those beliefs and opinions. People are people and entitled to their own point of view. And so if you hear anything you disagree with, that's totally okay. Take what's for you, leave what's not. And I try and do the same. But what I really want to do is just have open conversations where even if I disagree, I'm potentially learning something new. And then third, I will include an intro of every episode if there's anything potentially triggering or something that might be sensitive to some people. I'll try my best to note that so you can skip if it's not a topic or conversation that's for you, or give a listen if it is. I am totally new to this space. I am learning as I go, but if you guys have any comments, feedback, anything you want to share with me, types of guests you would love to hear from, definitely let me know. You can send me a DM on Instagram at UnTrivial Podcast. If you enjoy the conversations, please feel free to share with a friend. Give us a follow. We are at UnTrivial Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I'll be airing new episodes every single Tuesday. So that's all from me. I'm really excited. I just wanted to start this for fun, and I've kind of fallen in love with it along the way. I started working on this last fall, and I'm really excited to finally launch and share all the discussions I've been having with you. So, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for checking it out, and I hope you like it. All right. Bye.